Good evening, folks. This is Erik Proseus, MemphisWeather.net meteorologist, and wanted to bring a short video to you tonight to discuss potential for severe weather once again tomorrow. That would be Wednesday, January 18th. It seems like fake spring is hanging on, and this warm weather and all the moisture in the air and another system moving across the country is going to bring a chance of some strong storms during the day tomorrow and into the evening hours. And I want to take a few minutes to walk through that with you. So let's get right into it and talk about what we've got coming up tomorrow. So there is a pretty strong cold front that's going to be moving across the country through the midsection of the country tonight and into tomorrow, and then into our area. Of course, we were topped out almost near 70 degrees today. It's pretty humid and seasonably warm over the mid-south, so we're going to have the potential for some strong storms as this system approaches tomorrow. We expect to see a couple of main kind of time frames to be looking at. A few showers could be around during the morning hours tomorrow, but it looks like we'll start to see maybe a weak wave of showers and thunderstorms move through around midday, maybe around the lunch hour tomorrow, as the system starts to organize to our west in Arkansas and then push our way. And then that is going to strengthen as it moves towards the Mississippi River and become a broken to maybe solid line of thunderstorms that's going to move through. We're looking at right now between about 4 and 8 p.m. on Wednesday. That should cover most of the time frame that we would expect storms to occur. It could be as early as 4, particularly for areas west of the river, and then should be departing the area sometime after 8, maybe 9 o'clock for areas off to the east of the city, but somewhere in that time frame is what we're looking at, and we'll have more details tomorrow as we get a little bit closer. But the main threats with these showers and thunderstorms that are going to be moving through are going to be some pretty heavy rain. We're looking for maybe as much as 2 inches of rain in some of the area, as well as the threat for damaging wind. That'll be the primary severe weather threat, is going to be strong winds associated with the system. There is quite a bit of wind aloft, and so some of that could mix down to the surface if we get some heavy rain along with that. So possibility for some strong winds and heavy rain that could cause some flooding, minor flooding in small streams and of course in the urban areas where we've got a lot of concrete. And the ground is actually pretty saturated right now as well. We got a pretty good dose of rain overnight last night, and so the ground is pretty wet, and expect some of that, a lot of that to fall tomorrow to be in the form of runoff. Secondary threats for tomorrow, lesser concern but not totally out of the woods, are some large hail potential. I want to keep an eye on that as we get a little bit closer, and then also the threat for a brief tornado or two. Now, I don't think this is a high threat. It's not something to be overly concerned about, but there is some pretty strong shear in the atmosphere with this system moving through. There's pretty good winds aloft. Usually this time of year, what we're looking at is a lack of instability and a lot of wind or wind shear in the area, and so that tends to mean that if we get severe storms, it could put out a brief tornado, but we're not certain of that right now. So that's something to keep an eye on as well as we go into tomorrow. Here's the severe weather outlook for day 2 for the tomorrow time frame from the Storm Prediction Center. The left-hand panel here showing you the overall severe risk for the day, and basically the entire Mid-South is under a slight risk, level 2 out of 5. So that means we could have some scattered storms that could approach severe limits tomorrow as that area moves through here. Again, the main severe weather threat appears to be high wind, and on the right-hand panel you see the chance of high winds, basically 60 miles an hour or so or higher, within 25 miles of you, and that's between about 15 and 25% tomorrow. So that's where we get our slight risk, and with the damaging wind being the primary threat. Now, I mentioned that a fair amount of rain is expected as well, and the Weather Prediction Center from NOAA has put most of the metro under a slight risk also for excessive rainfall that could lead to flash flooding. That's level 2 out of 4. Again, a 15% chance or better of seeing heavy enough rain to cause some minor flooding in West Tennessee and across East Arkansas and far northwest Mississippi. And as far as rainfall totals are concerned, it looks like the heaviest rain might be along and west of the river, but those areas definitely 1 to 2 inches, as much as 2 inches, maybe locally higher amounts if some cells train over the same areas a couple of times. And generally, though, everybody should see probably over an inch of rain during the day tomorrow, and as much as 2 inches even outside of that corridor that's just west of the river. So I want to take a chance here to just show you kind of what the computer models are showing us for tomorrow, and we're going to back this up. We're looking at the just brand new data that's just come in here in the last hour or so. This is the HRRR model, one of our go-to high-resolution models. It is hourly data. We'll start here at 6 a.m. tomorrow. You see the kind of the front is way back over here around Oklahoma City, where there's kind of a line of showers and thunderstorms starting to form. There's a warm front up to the north that is bringing the showers and heavier rain into the Ozarks, and you'll see spotty showers out ahead of that. So anytime after sunrise tomorrow, we could get off and on little brief downpours that could move through. And as we move through the morning hours here, we'll start to see this organize a little better. Start to see some definitely over the southern half of Arkansas into Louisiana. We start to see kind of a cluster of showers and thunderstorms forming, a pretty large cluster moving up towards the area. This is 10 a.m. and you see that's kind of our midday wave. So this has some pretty decent little showers and thunderstorms with heavy rain right over the metro for the lunch hour tomorrow. So I do expect that it won't take long tomorrow morning for these to increase in coverage and a little bit of intensity as well. These are probably not the severe cells. I can't rule out maybe a little bit of hail in these or a gust of wind, but most of this is going to be heavy rain in the midday hours. And then as we go into the afternoon, we get to 3 o'clock. Now we see the front is kind of catching up to this activity out ahead of it, and we'll start to see this area over the eastern half of Arkansas get a little more organized as we go towards 4 o'clock. And this is the area where the slight risk is up for tomorrow as this kind of gels together and moves across the river. There's 5 p.m., and that's 7 p.m. I'm missing the 6 o'clock hour in there for some reason. Let's see if I can go back to it. There it is. 5, 6, 7, and 8 p.m. So you see those kind of 4 hours right in there, roughly, is where we think that those storms will be moving through here. And then it does get out of here pretty quickly. By 9 or 10 o'clock, it's all done and moving out. So this timing could be off a little bit, plus or minus an hour or two either way. But I think the 4 to 8 p.m. time frame with that kind of being what we're looking at about 6 o'clock is going to be what we might expect on the radar tomorrow. And of course, that's during rush hour with these strong storms moving through, some strong winds, very heavy rain. Keep that in mind tomorrow. For some of the later school dismissals, the 4 o'clock school dismissals, you want to keep that in mind. There could be some heavy rain around, and certainly through the rush hour and into the early evening. And then by the time we get to about 9 o'clock tomorrow night, that has shifted all off to the east, and we should be clearing out. In fact, clear skies coming in behind it by about midnight. So let's go back one more time and take a look then how to be ready for this system tomorrow. Of course, you want to have multiple ways of getting severe weather information. We're fortunate this is not going to be an overnight event here. It is going to be time when people are up and usually pretty in tune with what's going on. So just make sure you're staying up to date with your latest weather information from local sources, so that you have all of the information you need. Of course, you can get your severe weather information from mobile apps such as the Stormwatch Plus app, which we are a part of. You want to make sure your phones are unmuted, do not disturbs off, and so forth, to make sure that you're going to get your notifications there. Weather radio, local TV and radio, of course, this will be during rush hour time frames when local TV will be covering this as well. And then as a last resort, the outdoor sirens, of course, only if there's a tornado warning and only if you're in a position where you can actually hear those things. So I don't necessarily anticipate that those will go off, but we can't rule that out completely. During the day, make sure you keep your devices charged. There could be some power outages with this, always in the case of strong wind. We could have some of those tree limbs and so forth blowing into power lines, so keep that in mind tomorrow. Don't be coming home from work with 5% on your battery and hope that gets you through in case the power goes out in the evening. Keep track of what your severe weather plan is. Know where your safe place is ahead of time. Depending on where you are, that could change through that time frame. You're probably on the move a little bit during then, so keep that in mind. If you have outdoor objects that need to be secured, vehicles that can be garaged, it's a good idea to do that ahead of time, and always, of course, stay on top of the latest information for any forecast changes that occur. We will continue to keep you updated throughout the day tomorrow on Twitter and Facebook. We recommend that you go to Twitter and follow us there, get the latest updates. We will be keeping you posted throughout the event tomorrow with the latest information you need to know and all the warnings and stuff, of course, too. So make sure you're staying on top of things. We don't expect this is going to be a major event, but as you know, it only takes one storm in your backyard, and that to you is a major event. So just be prepared. That's all we've got for tonight. We'll continue to bring you updates starting early tomorrow morning and throughout the day. So stay tuned with us at Memphis Weather 1 on Facebook and Twitter, and download the app. app for the latest information there as well. Hope everyone has a good night tonight and a safe day tomorrow. Thanks.